So, hello students, welcome to Vedantu NEET English. This is Basraj, so your biology master teacher. Quickly let me know in the chat right now if I'm audible and video visible to all of you. Quickly let me know in the chat, and the stupid audio is coming. Okay. So quickly let me know in the chat if I'm audible and visible to each and every one of you. So good afternoon, each and every one of you students. Now, this is the last chapter of your line by line series. Last chapter. If you go check out the playlist of your line by line, every single chapter has been completed right now. And the only thing which is left right now is the last chapter, that is going to be your biodiversity and conservation, students. Biodiversity and conservation. The last chapter in your syllabus. Now you might think, sir, this is the last chapter of ecology. Does it have any weightage at all? Yes, it does. If you go look at your last year question paper, that is NEET 2024, there were around 6 questions. 6 questions, students, 6 to 7 questions if I remember correctly. 6 to 7 questions from this chapter alone. So it's a, technically speaking, this is one of the high weightage chapters in your ecology, highest weightage chapters in your ecology. So do not miss out on it. Now students, what we'll be doing is, we'll be doing line by line. I'll be teaching you every single line of NCERT, and I want you to also read with me. At the same time, we'll be solving last 5-year PYQs today itself. Okay, so with that same energy, can we start today's class, that is biodiversity and conservation? Yes students, hello, good afternoon each and every one of you. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. One second students, one second. Good afternoon everyone. Now, how many of you think this chapter is difficult? Raise your hands. How many of you think this chapter is a little difficult? Raise your hands quickly. If you think this chapter is difficult, raise your hands. Like, sir, this is a little difficult chapter, I don't understand something. There's nothing like that. Okay, this chapter is actually very easy. Now all of you, I'll ask you a simple thing. Okay, now for example, this is our earth. This is our earth right here. This is our earth right here. What if an alien is coming from outer space for a school trip? For example, an alien is coming from outer space to look at our earth from a school trip. It is coming, alien. Now tell me, what is the first thing which an alien might think, students? Think. What is the first thing which an alien might think? This right here. If an alien looks at a planet, right here, what is the first thought which comes to this alien? Obviously, alien might say that, oh my god, it's a very blue planet. It has students which are studying for NEET examination. It has a lot of people. It has a lot of humans. It has a lot of animals. Yes or no? The alien will go mad. Alien will go mad looking at the biodiversity, that is the different types of animals, different type of plants present on our earth. Alien will go mad. Not only alien students. In fact, you and me, both of us also, if you go onto a trekking or some jungle, there is a very high chance that you will observe a new type of plant or a new type of animal. Yes or no? How many of you seen that? For example, you're going for a trekking. You go for a trek and you notice that, oh my god, this is a new plant. I have never seen this flower in my life. For example, recently when I went for a trekking, I saw a new type of flower which I've never seen myself, and I have seen so many flowers. So the nature will always surprise you. The nature will always find a way to surprise you every single time. For example, tell me students, how many of you seen a golden beetle? Raise your hands. How many of you seen a golden beetle? Tell me in real life. Golden beetle in real life, tell me. Weightage is a very... Weightage is generally, let's take around 5 to 6 questions. Tell me, how many of you seen the golden beetle? Golden color beetle. How many of you seen? Tell me in the chat. If you have not seen, let me show it to you. If you have not seen a golden beetle, or what exactly is a golden beetle, let me show you. This right here is a golden tortoise beetle. Tell me, how many of you seen this? This right here is a cucumber beetle. Yes, this right here is a striped beetle. There are so many different types of beetles which even me and you have not seen. Forget beetles, there are so many fishes which we might have not seen. There are so many spiders, butterfly, even plants, animals which you are probably not even aware of. Okay, so that is the amazing life on earth. There are so many different type of animals, birds, insects, which you have not seen, I have not seen. Okay, so if next time when you go to a trekking, tell me, sir, send me a picture of a new plant you find. Okay, tell me. Now, students, so with that, let's read the lines of NCERT now. Shall we? Shall we read the lines of NCERT right now? Yes. Now I want everyone to keep a pencil with you. At the same time, keep your NCERT and also keep a water bottle, which is missing here. Okay, so always, all of you, keep a water bottle, a pencil, and NCERT. Now, once you're set, let's start reading right now. Let's start reading. Okay. Now, if an alien from distant galaxy were to visit our planet Earth, the first thing that would amaze and baffle would most probably be the enormous biodiversity. Yes or no? The enormous biodiversity would be amazing here. Okay, enormous biodiversity of life that we encounter. Even for humans, the rich variety of living organisms with which we share this planet never cease to astonish and fascinate us. Just now I showed you turtle beetle, golden beetle, cucumber beetle. Has anyone of you seen that? No. So even you would be surprised looking at the biodiversity on Earth. Okay, right. The rich variety of living organisms which we share the planet never cease to astonish and fascinate us. The common man would find it hard to believe that there are more than 20,000 species of ants. Tell me, how many of you knew that? There are more than 20,000 species of ants. I know, you know, both of us know how many. Hardly 4, right? We know red ant, black ant, bigger version, smaller version. That's all we know. Bigger version doesn't bite, smaller version will bite you. So we hardly know 4 types or 5 types. Common people like us. But there are more than 20,000 species of ants. Can you even imagine that? Not number, different types of plant, different types of ants, species. There are more than 3 lakh species of beetles, 28,000 species of fishes, and nearly 2,000 species of orchids. 2,000 species of orchids. 2,000 species of orchids. Those many are there present in our diversity. That is the large diversity of plants, animals, insects present on our Earth. And tell me, wouldn't it be so fascinating to see all of them? Obviously, it'll be fascinating. Okay. Now, ecologists and evolutionary biologists have been trying to understand the significance of such diversity by asking many important questions, which we'll be encountering in this today's class. Okay. See here, beetles, different type of ants, different type of fishes. See, how many of you seen this snakehead fish? Because I have never seen. I have seen only the image of it. There is something called as yellow box fish. This you might have seen. It's a fish. It's a fish right here. Okay. How many of you see the different type of orchids? There are so many different type of orchids which you have never seen in your life. That is how beautiful the plants and animals are. Okay. And that is the rich biodiversity which we have on Earth right now. Okay. So go on, try finding on internet at least. Okay. Now students, let's read the next line of NCERT. Let's read now. Okay. In our biosphere, immense diversity or heterogeneity exists not only at the species level but at all levels of biological organization, ranging from macromolecule within a cell to biomes. All of you remember the first chapter? There I taught you, right? Different levels of classification: macromolecules, cell, tissue, organ, organism, population, community, biomes, biosphere, ecosystem. So at every single level, there is a different variety, that is a diversity. For example, let's take macromolecule level. Can anyone give me an example of macromolecule? Anyone? Quickly tell me in the chat. Can anyone tell me an example of macromolecule? Okay, let's take a polysaccharide for example. Polysaccharide. Do you remember how many types of polysaccharides are there? Do you remember polysaccharides? So many types of polysaccharides are there. Chitin, it could be chitin. It could be your agar-agar. It can be peptidoglycan. Yes. It can be starch. Yes. It can be your, what is that? Peptidoglycan, starch. Inulin. Inulin is a long chain of your fructose. So there is a diversity even at a macromolecule level. Okay, not just at the ecosystem or your community level, right? Biodiversity is the term. See students, this chapter I'll be telling you a lot of names and you have to remember the names. There'll be a lot of scientists coming up. So I want everyone to underline in your NCERT right now all of these names. Okay, all of these names. Let's start. Biodiversity, the term popularized by the sociobiologist Edward Wilson. So first name is coming up right here. I want everyone to mark his name. Edward Wilson. So he gave the term that is biodiversity. Term biodiversity. Biodiversity. Okay, to describe the combined diversity at all levels of biological organization. Every single level we have them. Every single level we have them. Edward Wilson. Done. Now students, this entire biodiversity right can be studied at three main levels. For example, the first one is called as genetic, second one is called as your species level, and the third thing is called as your ecological diversity. So species, first one is genetic, species, and your ecological. Now I'll give you a simple example. Tell me how many of you love mangoes? Love mangoes, tell me. Tell me quickly. How many of you love mangoes? Tell me. Raise your hands. Just raise your hands. How many of you love mangoes? Yes. Quickly tell me. Disha, can you answer? How many of you love mangoes? If you love mango, tell me which is your favorite type of mango. Which type? Don't tell me fruity and all. Tell me which type of favorite mango. I'll give you a few examples I've given here. Let me know if your favorite mango is here somewhere. Okay. See, mine is favorite is here, Totapuri. This is my favorite. Totapuri is my favorite. Okay. Some of you like Malika. Malika is very sweet actually. Malika is very famous. There is Alfonso, very famous one. Okay. There is Modichur also, a little bit sour in nature. Amber also is very famous, small ones. Right. So there are variety of mangoes. There are so much of variety of mangoes. Okay. Now at the same time, how many types of rice do we have in India, students? You have any idea? There are, let's say, 30 rupees rice to 100 rupees rice. There is a large variety. There's a large variety of rice also in India. Brown rice, red rice, black rice, whatever rice is there on earth, on India itself. Now all of this rice belong to one species. One species. Okay, rice, one species. Mango, Mangifera. Right? Right? Genus and species, Indica. Right? We have mango. So, do you see the variety at your genetic level also? In one species, within one species only. Within one species itself, do you see a variety now at genetic level? Every single one of them is different at genetic level. Yes, they are different. So, the first one is at genetic level. A single species might show high diversity at genetic level. A single species of mango can show variety. A single species of your rice can show variety. So variety, or that is the diversity at the genetic level. Now the genetic variation, one example they have given you is, that is Rafflesia vomitaria is a type of your plant. Okay, I'll show you diagram here. This is called as Rafflesia vomitaria. This is a type of plant, also called as your devil's pepper. It is called as devil pepper. Okay, don't try to eat it and all. Okay, this particular devil's pepper or Rafflesia has a chemical in it, and this chemical concentration varies from one particular flower, one particular plant to one particular plant. That is genetic diversity. See here, Rafflesia vomitaria growing in the different Himalayan ranges. For example, one Himalayan range, one more Himalayan range. For example, here I have one plant, here I have one more plant. Okay, I have one plant here, I have one more plant here. Two plants. One plant is growing here, will have different concentration of chemical. One plant here will have different concentration of chemical. Okay, might be in terms of potency and concentration of active chemical. That is your respirin, right? Respirin, that is the plant produces. So diversity at genetic level. Okay. Now, India has more than 50,000 genetically different strains of rice. Will you believe that? 50,000 varieties of rice in India itself. Such diversity we have. Even mangoes, 1,000 varieties of mango, students. Even if you eat, students, imagine, just get a perspective. Even if you eat two varieties of mango every single day throughout the year, Still you cannot finish all of them. 2 varieties of mango every single day for rest of the year. Still you will not be able to finish all the varieties of mango present in India. That is how variety we have. Amazing variety we have in India. Okay. Now, next is species diversity. I'll give you a simple example. Species diversity, how it changes based on location. Tell me, students, how many of you are from Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala? How many of you are from Karnataka, Maharashtra, Kerala, and everything? Raise your hands. Tell me quickly. Where are you from? Where are you from? Tell me quickly in the chat. Yeah, you end up hating mango, obviously, then. If you eat so much of mangoes. See, if you're from Telangana, somewhere here, Eastern Ghats. If you're from Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Kerala, and everything, you're part of your Western Ghats. See, Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Do you see that? Do you see that Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats? There's a difference here. Now, students, what is the difference in here? See this. See the image. In the Western Ghats, the population of amphibians is much more higher compared to Eastern Ghats. In Eastern Ghats, the population is comparatively lower here. But in the Western Ghats, the population is higher. Population is higher in Western Ghats. That is the difference here. Now, can you see the species diversity? The species in one area is higher compared to the area. That's all. That is all. Okay. The diversity at species level, for example, Western Ghats have more greater amphibian species diversity compared to Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats is higher. Western Ghats is higher. Okay. So all of you understand now. All of you understand the species diversity. The last one is called as ecological diversity. Very simple example. Okay. At the ecosystem level, let's take India as an example. Okay. For instance, with its desert, see, we have desert in Rajasthan, tropical rainforest in Meghalaya, snow in Kashmir. In South India, if you come, you have almost again rainforests. We have forests. We have mangrove. We have coral reef in Andaman Nicobar. Do you see that? Can you think of any other country with such diversity? Can you think of any other country with such diversity, students? Go to Kashmir, snow, desert, Rajasthan, tropical rainforest, Meghalaya. Come to South India, you will understand the different type of ocean, the coastal areas, mangrove and everything. Go to Andaman Nicobar, you will find coral reefs. That is called as ecological diversity present at India itself. India. If you go to any countries like your Scandinavian countries, your Northern Europe, nothing is there. Nothing is there. Hardly on a few things you will see. No proper diversity. No proper diversity. Okay. Understanding? All of you. For instance, with its deserts, rainforests, mangrove, coral reefs, wetlands, estuaries, and alpine meadows. Alpine meadows are the snow areas, right? Has a greater ecosystem diversity than Scandinavian country like Norway. Norway, nothing is there compared to our India. That is the reason we say India is very rich when it comes to biodiversity. Okay, very rich country, students, very rich country. Amazing biodiversity we have in India. You will never find such thing anywhere. Okay, clear, students? Any doubt till now, students? The different levels of classification? Understood? Different levels of classification, all of you? Understood? Yes? Don't worry, gone. Don't worry, gone. Yes? Amazing. Okay. Now, students. Next, this I already told you this. This is done. Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, species diversity. See, rainforest. We can find such an amazing diversity. If you go to Meghalaya and everything, rainforest. If you go to desert, you can see different type of animals. Desert fox, Joshua tree. You can see golden barrel cactus, camel, and everything. If you go to your mangrove, you can see different types of mangrove vegetation. This is ecological level. Ecological level. If you go to alpine meadows, you can see different types of animals, coral reefs. Yes. So that makes our India amazing. That makes our India amazing. That is the best thing about India, students. Okay. Now, it has taken millions of years of evolution to accumulate this rich diversity in nature. But we could lose all of that wealth in less than 2 centuries if the present rate of species loss continues. So, it doesn't matter how many years it's taken. If you continue the same rate, entire thing will be lost. I'll give you a simple example. Tell me, from how many months or years are you preparing for examination? Tell me. Friends, quickly tell me in the chat. From how many months or years you're preparing for NEET examination? Some of you from class 11th, 12th, one drop means 3 years. Some of you started preparing after class 11th, so class 12th drop year 2 years. Some of you are in class 12th right now, so 1 year. Some of you started preparing after 12th, so one year drop. Some of you started preparing, let's say, yesterday only, so 1 day old. So students, do you realize in your preparation you're given some time right now, some time, but during the month of February, March and April, just before your examination, if you stop doing everything, you get distracted, you do not even study a single word, tell me, will that affect your preparation? It'll completely destroy your preparation. It doesn't matter how long you prepared. If you do not revise and solve mock test, if you do not keep all the information on the go, everything will be wasted. All the hard work which you put in the last few years, everything will be wasted. Same goes for biodiversity. It has taken millions of years for accumulation of such biodiversity, but we can lose all of it in just 2 centuries. That is 200 years. Okay, 200 years. Understanding biodiversity and its conservation is now a vital environmental issue for international concerns as more and more people around the world begin to realize the critical importance of biodiversity for our survival and well-being on the planet. So without biodiversity, we cannot survive. Obviously, tell me students, I'll ask you a simple question. Can you imagine a life on Earth? Can you even imagine a life on Earth without microbes? Imagine, just try to imagine. If there are no microbes, if there is no decomposers, the entire Earth will be filled by dead bodies. Our entire life will cease to exist. So you can't even imagine a life without decomposers. Forget other animals and birds. Okay. So very important, biodiversity is. Now, how many species are there on Earth and how many are there on India? See, I told you India is great. I told you India is amazing. India has amazing biodiversity. We have your snow area, alpine meadows. We have desert. We have tropical rainforest. We have sea. We have ocean. But how much? That is more important now. Understand? Okay. Understand now. Understand. Understand, students. Now, since there are published records of all the species discovered and named, we know how many species are there, how many species in all have been recorded so far. That is, for example, let's say Ravindrani is going on a trek. Ravindrani and Sneha are going on a trek. They see one plant, they will take a photo and they'll keep it. They'll take a picture, they'll keep it in a book and they'll write everything about it. Next, for example, Sandra is going on a walk again. She'll see a nice bird on photo, record it. Similarly, students, around the world, there are many scientists, there are taxonomists who are going around the world and discovering and identifying and doing nomenclature on organisms. So right now, we have some idea that these many organisms are present on Earth. These many has been recorded. Okay. Now, but it is not easy to answer the question of how many species are there on Earth. Okay. According to very important International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, natural resources, the total number of plant and animal species described so far are slightly more than 1.5 million. So we have 1.5 million plants and animals on Earth right now. How many students? Everyone in the chat. 1.5 million. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. But we have no clear idea of how many species are yet to be discovered and described. Estimates vary widely and many of them are only educated guess. For many taxonomist groups, species inventories are more complete in temperate. Very important line. I'll read again. See, read again, all of you. For many taxonomic groups, species inventory, it means how many species have been classified are more complete where? In the temperate regions. Why? Because in temperate regions, temperature is very cold, less population. At the same time, in tropical countries, compared to tropical countries, in tropical countries, the population is higher. Population of plant animals is higher. In temperate, population is very low. So nature's, let's say, nature's dictionary is more complete in tropical. So more complete in temperate. Tropical will take more time. Okay. Clear, all of you? Clear? So in the temperate, it is much more complete compared to tropical. Tropical, it is not that complete. Okay. Now, considering that overwhelming large population of species waiting to be discovered are in the tropics, obviously, because a lot of more population there, biologists make a statistical comparison of temperate tropical species richness of an exhaustively studied group of insects and extrapolate this ratio to other group of animals and plants to come up with a gross estimate of total number of species on Earth. That is, I'll give you a simple example. Let's take you are scoring, let's take in biology, you are scoring around, let's say, 350 marks. 50 marks. Okay. Now, approximately in chemistry also you're scoring, let's say, around 170 marks. So, can I tell your physics marks also will be somewhere around 150 to 160 marks. So, based on this data right here, I was able to somewhat estimate this marks, because if you're getting good marks here and good marks here also, unless you hate physics. Now you tell me, you're getting 350 marks in bio, 170 marks in chemistry. Is there a chance that you will get, let's say, 8 marks in physics? Not possible, because it is very arbitrary. It doesn't make sense. So this is called as guesswork. I am telling this much is your data, this much you should be getting here also. That is called as extrapolation of marks. Okay. So based on one data, you're trying to find the data of other also. Okay. Or I'll give you a more simple example. See this. Imagine you're eating 3 chapatis every single day. Now your mother is asking you, one day you're very hungry, and one day you're very, very hungry. Okay. One day you're very, very hungry. Okay. And mother asks you how many chapatis you want. Will you say 10 directly? No. You will say around 3 or 4. So based on the data which you have on a daily basis, you're able to produce one more data. Okay. Now some extreme estimates ranging from 20 to 50 million. Some are saying there are 20 to 50 million species on Earth. Okay. But more conservative and scientifically sound estimate made by Robert May, very important person coming up. See, Robert May placed the global species diversity at 7 million. So Robert May is saying, forget 20 and 50, approximately there are 7 million species on Earth. 7 million species on Earth. Clear, all of you? Clear? This is a rough estimate. Given by Robert May. So all of you pay some tribute to Robert May right now. Students, small rule in my class, right? Every single time we face a scientist, give a namaskar to them. Okay? Clearly, all of you. Namaskar. Quickly, all of you, namaskar to Robert May. Because without those scientists, you would not be able to study anything right now. Without those scientists, right now, you would not be able to study any of this data. Nothing would be in front of you. All of you, quickly, namaskar I give to Robert May. Without Robert May's contribution, all should not be possible. Okay. Now, let us look at some interesting aspects about Earth's biodiversity based on the currently available species inventories. More than 70% of all species recorded are animals. More than 70% of all the animals present on all the organisms, 70% are animals. Okay. 70% are your animals. 70% are animals. Okay. While plants including algae, students, anything mistake here? Any mistake here, students? Including plants including algae, fungi, bryophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Is there any mistake in this line, students? Is there any mistake here? Yes, no? When I say plants, why am I calling fungi also here? Fungi is separate kingdom. Yes or no? Kingdom, fungi. So NCERT can make small mistakes here and there. Small mistakes. Okay. Now, comprises no more than 22% of total. So plants are almost 22%. Plants are around 22%. Students, I want everyone to write down. I want everyone to write down in your book on the right hand side. Okay. Clear, all of you? I want everyone to write down. I want everyone to write down in your book right now. Okay. 22% is plants. Okay. Out of every 10 animals on this planet, okay, come to 22%. Insects are the most species rich taxonomical groups, making up to 70% of the total. So we have highest is insects in animals. In this animals, highest is insects. Highest is insects. Okay. That is, out of every 10 animals, we have students here. Okay, we have students here. Out of all of us, 10 students, 7 are insects. Okay, 7 are insects. Again, how do we expect this enormous diversification of insects? Because of evolution. The number of fungi species, okay, very important line. Number of fungi species is more than combined total of species of more than fishes plus amphibians plus reptiles plus mammals. So that is how high species of fungi is going to be. Fungi is going to be higher than fishes, amphibians, reptiles and mammals combined, not mammals. Okay. Now students, I'll ask you one simple question. Tell me which is the largest phylum. Quickly tell me. Which is the largest phylum? Which is the largest phylum? Anyone tell me quickly in the chat. And all of you quickly smash that like button. All of you quickly smash that like button. All of you. Okay. Tell me quickly in the chat. The largest phylum. Largest phylum is Arthropoda. All of you remember zoology. Recently you studied, no, animal kingdom. Arthropoda. Okay. Can you see here NCERT, all of you? In NCERT, all of you can see here. Insect is the highest. Insect is the highest. Tell me which is the second largest phylum? Which is the second largest phylum in your animal kingdom? Second largest phylum, quickly. Second largest phylum. Second largest phylum. Mollusks. Yeah, right here. Then we have crustaceans and other animal groups. See, mollusks. In vertebrates, obviously, your entire earth is filled by water. 70% is water only. So fishes is highest. Then we have reptiles and birds, almost same. Mammals and amphibians are much more relatively lesser. Here, all of you know, fungi is the highest. Fungi and angiosperms are almost equal here. Mosses, ferns, algae, lichens are less, comparatively less. Okay. Now, it should be noted that these estimates do not give any figure of prokaryotes. Yes or no? Did we anywhere see prokaryotes anywhere, students? Anywhere did we see prokaryotes? No. Can you think of why? Why don't we include prokaryotes everywhere? Answer is very simple. Very simple is that prokaryotes cannot be seen with naked eye. For example, on this pen right here, there is a very high chance there are hundreds of bacteria, thousands of bacteria on this pen right here. On my hand right here, there will be so many bacteria. So it is microscopic. You cannot see with your naked eyes. Very difficult to count. Henceforth, not included. We do not want to make our work even more complicated. Okay. So very important line. Biologists are not sure about how many prokaryote species there might be. The problem is that conventional taxonomical methods are not suitable for identification microbial species, and many species are simply not culturable under laboratory conditions. If we accept biochemical or biomolecular criteria for delineating species for this group, then the diversity alone might run into millions. Millions diversity. Before I told you, 7 million is the estimate. We have found 1.5 million, we have found. But if you use microbes, millions it will go. It will go in millions. So very difficult. Okay, it's very, very difficult. Okay. Now, although India has very important line, students, ready to be proud. Students, ready to be proud now. India, although India has 2.4% of world's land area. For example, this is our Mother Earth right here. On this Mother Earth, students, India is just 2.4%. India is just, let's say, 2.4% of land. India is just 2.4% of land is India, 2.4%. Okay. Shares of global species diversity is an impressive of 8.1%. So even though the land is just 2.4%, the amount of species is around 8.1% of whole earth. So land is less, land is very less, but population diversity is very high. And that is the main reason India is one of the 12 mega biodiversity hubs in the world. Okay. That is what makes our country one of the 12 mega diversity countries of the world. Nearly 45,000 species of plants. Students, in India, all of you. More than 45,000 species of plants, right? Twice many number of animals, that is double of 45, right? So many 90,000 species of animals are recorded in India. It is recorded in India already. Okay. How many living species are actually there waiting to be discovered in India named? We don't even know, because there are so many of them are yet to be discovered in India, and we do not even have a clue. That is amazing. India is such vast diversity, richness is there. Okay. If we accept May's global estimate, only 22% of total species have been recorded. That's all. In India, only 22% has been recorded. Remaining is still yet to be discovered. And if you give a number on it, okay, if you give a number on it, see the number, right? There are probably more than 1 lakh plant species, students. There are more than 1 lakh plant species and more than 3 lakh animal species yet to be discovered and described. Crazy, you know, in India is then more than 1 lakh species yet to be discovered, students, right? 3 lakh animal species yet to be discovered. That's how amazing India is, students. Now I'll ask you a simple question, students. Can this happen? Can this actually happen? Can we record entire thing? Not possible at the point. You might ask me why. You might ask me why, students, why it is very difficult to estimate all of them. Why is it difficult? The answer is very simple, because lack of good taxonomist in India. No one wants to be a taxonomist. Tell me, how many of you want to grow up and be a taxonomist? Tell me. How many of you want to grow up and become taxonomist? Very rare, no? In India, very rare. Even in my batch, when I passed out, in my batch, not even one person became a taxonomist. Everyone is here and they're scattered around doing some other work. Because becoming a taxonomist requires big amount of passion. It requires very high, and sacrifice also very high. If you become a taxonomist, there's a very high chance that you might have to live in forest. You might have to live in forest. That's how difficult taxonomist job is. Okay. So we do not have enough of taxonomists in India, and henceforth the classification is going to be hopeless. See here. Would we ever be able to complete the inventory of biological wealth of our country, considering the immense trained manpower, taxonomists, and time required to complete the job? The situation appears no more hopeless when we realize that a large fraction of this species face threat of becoming extinct even before we discover them. That is, even before we discover them, there's a many species are becoming extinct year by year in our country. So how to become a taxonomist? You need to have a master's degree, right? You need to have a master's degree in your botany or zoology, like one I have. So I can become a taxonomist actually, right? I can become a taxonomist, but it requires a passion. See, I love teaching. That's my job to do. So if I had a passion for becoming a taxonomist, I could have been a taxonomist. You need a master's degree and a PhD in the same field, that is in taxonomy. So I got a master's in botany. All of you know that. So if I were interested, I could have gone in that field. Okay. Now, students, there's a small question here. Let's see how many of you can solve this question right here on the board. Time starts now. Quickly, tick tick, tick 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 tick. Quickly. Started. Time started. And students, all of you quickly smash that like button. What is this? Where is the energy? Where is the Josh? Where is the likes? Okay. Exactly. All of us have a passion. All of you want to become a doctors, and that's why you're here. If you do not have the passion, students, let me tell you, honestly, let me tell you, if you do not have the passion for becoming a doctor, this particular route which you take is very difficult, because the amount of dedication, amount of sacrifice, amount of hard work, and amount of courage it requires, no, next level. Because every single year the competition is increasing. Every single competition is increasing, and matter of fact, this year the competition is going to be around 28 lakh, and yet you are showing courage that yes, I will do it. So hats off to all of you showing the courage. So courage is very important. Okay. A very easy question today. IUCN. Very easy question. Okay. So that was the first chunk. That was the first chunk of your chapter. That is biodiversity. That is the biodiversity. Right. So all of you have some idea right now? Yes or no? All of you have some idea? Yes or no, students? All of you have some idea about becoming a taxonomist. All of you have some idea about biodiversity on Earth. All of you have some idea about biodiversity in India. Yes, biodiversity in India. Okay. Family wants to become a doctor. I can't help there. Okay. Now, students, now we'll study about something called as patterns of biodiversity. Like, how does the biodiversity change? How does the biodiversity change from area to area? Okay. Now, I'll give you a simple diagram. I'll show you. Students, if this is the Earth, let's say this is the Earth right here. Okay. On the Earth, students, on the Earth, there is an imaginary line, no? On Earth, which is going right in the middle. One imaginary line. What is that called as, students? What is that imaginary line called as? Right in the middle. Imaginary line right in the middle. That is the equator. That is the equator. Okay. That is the equator. Apart from equator, students, there are two other imaginary lines, right? There are two other imaginary lines on Earth. Yes or no? There are two other imaginary lines. Yes. One is Tropic of Cancer, one is Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Yes, Tropic of Capricorn. Now, all of you understand this very simple thing. Apart from these, we also have the South Pole, North Pole. This is the South Pole, this is the North Pole. Okay. Now, whatever we have here, this region, you can see, this entire region here and this entire region here. This region is called as temperate region. It is called as what? Temperate region. Temperate regions. Okay, temperate regions. Now, students, understand this topic very, very, very carefully. Very carefully. When you look at the entire Earth, highest species composition, highest number of species on Earth can be found near the equator. Highest species can be found here near the equator. The species diversity is highest near the equator. Okay. Now, as we go away from the equator towards the south, as we go from away from the equator towards the north, the species diversity decreases. The species diversity decreases if you go towards the north or towards the south. The species diversity is decreasing constantly away from the equator. It's decreasing. But at the region of Tropic of Cancer, this is around 23.5 towards the north. This is around 23.5 degree towards the north and 23.5 degree near the south. In these two regions, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, we have species which is surprisingly higher there, higher species region here and here. For example, that's why India is near Tropic of Capricorn, so it has very high density. India, okay, so that is called as your difference in latitude. Now I'll give you one more example. How many of you are first bencher? How many of you middle bencher? How many of you last bencher? Raise your hands quickly. In this, similarly, within a classroom, imagine this is a classroom, we have first bencher, middle bencher, last bencher. Are we dividing here based on the latitude? Here also we are dividing the earth based on latitude. As we go away from the equator on either sides, species diversity is decreasing. Sir, Amazon rainforest located near the equator? Yes, near the Colombia, in the entire South America region. Okay, so let's read here. All of you have some idea right now. Let's read this now. Let's read it. The diversity of plant and animals is not uniform throughout the world. All of you know that. But shows a rather uneven distribution. For many group of animals or plants, there are interesting patterns in the diversity. The most well-known being the latitude gradient. In diversity. Now what is this? In general, species diversity decrease as we move away from the equator. The species diversity is decreasing. Okay. Equator towards the poles, with very few exception. That is tropics, latitude 23.5 degree to the north. Here. This one. Okay. That is the one exception. To south also. Two exceptions are there. Harbors more species than the temperate or polar regions. So here in these two regions, Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer, these two regions will have more species compared to temperate and tropic. Okay, compared to temperate and polar. You will find more species near the Cancer and Capricorn. Okay, Cancer and Capricorn. One example they have given you. This is the example given here, right here. Example is given. Colombia located near the equator. Has nearly 1,400 species of birds. So Colombia, students, the Colombia has around 1,400 species of birds. Okay, while New York at 41 to the north has around 105. NYC, New York has around 150 species of birds. 105 species of birds. And if you look at this map right here, 41 to the north, where do you get it? 41 to the north, this is 23 somewhere here. 41 degree to the north. Here we find New York somewhere here. Yes, New York somewhere there. Okay. Now, Greenland at 71 to the north, only 56 species. So, in the case of your Greenland, we have hardly around 56 species of birds. So somewhere to the north, right? For 71, somewhere around here. Let's say here, 71 degree to the north. So 41, 71. So as we go away from the equator, species diversity is decreasing. It is decreasing. So all of you can clearly see that. It is decreasing as we go away from the equator. Okay. Yeah, social only it is. Okay. India, with the much large area near the tropical latitude, has around 1,200 species of birds. So India, students, has around 1,200 species of birds, comparatively higher. Okay, a forest in tropical region, very important line, students. A forest in tropical regions like Ecuador near the tropical regions has up to 10 times as much as species of vascular plants as a forest, of equal area in the temperate region like Midwest of USA. For example, here I have in this particular graph, if you see, let's take here I have Ecuador. Let's say this much area. In the same area in USA, area is same, but here we will have 10 times more plants. 10 times more plants in the Ecuador compared to USA. Same land, more plants here. More plants here. Okay. Now, the largely tropical Amazonian rainforest in South America, students. This is the, again I've given you diagrams here to understand. Equator, North Pole, South Pole. As we go away from the equator, population is decreasing, species diversity is decreasing. It is decreasing. Okay. The Amazonian rainforest in South America has the largest biodiversity on earth. See, largest biodiversity on earth is Amazon rainforest. Okay. It is home to more than, students, very important, 40,000 species of plants. How many? 40,000 species of plant. Yes. So plants. Species of plants. Okay. 3,000 species of fishes. 3,000 fishes. 1,300 birds. 427 of mammals. 427 amphibians. 427 amphibians. 378 reptiles. And more than 1,25,000 invertebrates. 1,25,000 invertebrates. Now tell me, students, apart from all of this, which is the highest in number? Tell me, which is the highest in number? Now tell me, which is the highest in number? Highest in number is, first rank goes to invertebrates, highest. Second is plants. Third is going to be fishes. Fourth is going to be your birds. Fifth is going to be mammals and amphibians. And last is going to be reptiles. Now the question to all of you, is it very important to learn this? Is it important to remember this? Numbers? No. But the order? Yes, you have to remember it. I'll give a simple example. This is a question right here from NEET 2022 where they have asked you a simple question. Can you see here? Given the correct descending order of organisms with reference to their estimate number found in Amazon rainforest. Highest is invertebrates. So B should come first. Gone. B should come first. Second was, students, second was your plants. So A comes second. Then we have fishes is C. Next is fishes. Fishes is coming next. Then we have birds. Yes, birds. Last is going to be the mammals. Okay. Birds, mammals. So such question can be asked. Such questions can be asked in examination. Order can be asked in examination. Okay. So I hope all of you can remember the pattern which they can ask you. Okay. Now that is the latitude wise. Okay. Now next question, again very important paragraph. Questions have come from here. Ecologists and evolutionary biologists have proposed various hypotheses, like why in tropical we have more plant and animals compared to your temperate. That is a question to all of you right now also. Why do you think we have more plants and animals in tropical regions compared to temperate regions? What Papa temperate has done now? Understand. Okay. First question is, first hypothesis, speciation is generally a function of time. Unlike temperate regions subjected to frequent glaciations in the past, tropical latitudes have remained relatively undisturbed for millions of years and thus had a long evolutionary time for species diversification. So the first point is more time and it was completely undisturbed. undisturbed. The tropical regions were completely undisturbed, students, undisturbed. Option number 1. Okay. Second point, tropical environment, unlike temperate ones, are less seasonal, relatively more constant and predictable. Such constant environment promotes niche species specialization and tend to have greater species diversity. Second one is constant season. So it is constant season. That's why more speciation in tropics. More speciation in tropics. Okay. Third one, there is more solar energy available in the tropics, which contribute to the higher productivity. Okay, in tropics there is more, very important line, more solar energy in the tropics contribute to high productivity. This is in turn might contribute indirectly to the greater diversity. So third one is means what? Third one is more sunlight. So undisturbed, lot of time to speciation, constant season, no very predictable season, more solar energy in the tropics, henceforth better speciation, more species diversity in the tropics. Now can they ask you this question? Yes, they can ask you. Yes. Okay. Read the question and tell me the answer. This is a question from this year NEET examination. NEET 2024 question on the board right now for all of you. On the board. You can tell me the answer. On the board for you, quickly. Students, all the notes will be available in Telegram. Tropical latitudes have remained relatively undisturbed for millions of years, hence more time available for speciation. Yes. Constant. So what is the answer? A, C, D, E. A, C, D, E. Right? A, C, D, E. Right? A, C, D, E. So such questions can be asked in examination. Such questions can be asked in your examination, where they ask you from very directly from very specific point of this NCERT, from this chapter. That is the main reason. This chapter I always tell my students to always learn line by line, so do not miss out any topic. Okay. Now I believe ecology is interesting. Yes or no? You're learning about organisms. You're learning about how the different species are there and everything. Now first classification was based on latitude. Okay. Next one is called as species area relationship. It is called as what? Species area relationship. Okay. Now tell me, how many of you love playing cricket? Raise your hands quickly. How many of you love playing cricket? Or how many of you love collecting money? Second one everyone will say yes. How many of you love collecting money? Raise your hands quickly. Okay. Tell me, how many of you love collecting money or cricket? Now students, if you play cricket, imagine you're playing cricket one day. Okay. Nice six you get. Okay. The ball went and fell somewhere behind in a forest area. Imagine. Okay. You go try to find the ball. Okay. You go try to find the ball. While searching for the ball, is there a chance that you will find an extra ball which was previously lost? Does it happen? You're trying to find the ball. Do you find an extra ball somewhere which has been previously lost? Yes, you do. Same thing happens in money finding also. Imagine I want to go drink some tea, but no money only today. No money. I will go try finding everywhere. I'll go try finding everywhere in my house. Money somewhere, money should be there. I'll go try finding in my mom's purse. If there is nothing, I'll go check near the pillow. I'll go check near under in the sofa, near the sofa, under the dining table. Somewhere I'll go search. Right. And there is a very high chance that you will get some money there. Now, the more you search, there is a very high chance that more money you will get somewhere in the wardrobe, somewhere in the kitchen, somewhere in the bathroom. You would have kept some 10 rupees note. You have kept. So the more you search, the more you will get. But is there a chance, students? I don't know how rich you are, but is there a chance that you will find 10 lakh, let's say 10 crores laying in your house? Is there a chance like that? Don't tell me yes now. I'll go mad. Tell me, is there a chance that you will find 10 crores somewhere hidden in your room? If you find, very good. If you find, very good, keep it. Don't tell anyone, okay? But is there a chance that you'll get? Not possible. How much ever you check, how much ever you search in your house, you will never find that much. That is, the probability, the more you search, the more you'll find, but only up to a certain limit. Only up to a certain limit. Yes or no? The same concept is applied in your species area relationship. That is, the more you search, right? The more you search, more animals and plants you will find, but only up to a certain limit. Beyond that, you cannot find them. Understood, all of you? See this. During his pioneer and extensive explorations in the wilderness of South America jungles, the great German naturalist, namaskar all of you, namaskar time, to the geographer Alexander von Humboldt. All of you, namaskar quickly. One nice namaskar you give. Done. Okay. Observed that within a region, species richness increased. Within a region, species richness increased. How? The more you search, more you find. Within a region, species richness increased with increasing explored area. The more you explore, more species area, but only up to a limit. Only up to a limit. More than that, you will not get. Okay. So this is the species area relationship. That is, richness increased with a increasing explored area, but only up to a certain limit. Only up to a certain limit. Okay. Now, in fact, the relation between species richness and the area for the wide variety of taxa, angiosperms and plants, birds, bats, and everything turns out to be a rectangular hyperbola. That is, if you plot all the species in an area, you will get a rectangular hyperbola right here. This is your handsome uncle here, Alexander Humboldt. This is your, the more you search, more species you will find. See, more you search, more species you will find, but only up to a certain limit. Only up to a certain limit. And this is called as rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola. And you have an equation here. That is, log S equals log C plus Z log A. This is the equation which you need to remember, and it is also given here. You can see here. Log S is equal to log C plus Z log A. Now, what is S here? S is the species richness. A is the area. Z is going to be the slope of the line, also called as the regression coefficient, and C is going to be y-intercept. Now, I'll give you exactly 30 seconds to remember this. Time starts now. Go. Time starts now. Exactly 30 seconds to remember this. 30 seconds is enough for all of you. Done? Done, students? Can I ask you some question now? Okay, whenever the question is coming up, I will not ask you, the question is coming up anyway. Okay. Now here, students, the only thing which you need to understand here is the variation in the Z. This Z right here can vary. This Z right here can vary according to the area. For example, if I compare two closely related area, small habitat, the Z value will be less. But if I'm comparing two different continents, the Z value will be more. Z value will be more. Example is given here, see this. Ecologists have discovered that the value of Z lies in the range of 0.1 to 0.2 generally, right? Whether it is plants in Britain, birds in California, mollusks in New York State, the slope of the regression, that is Z value, are amazingly similar. Closer area. Okay. But if you analyze the species area rich relationship among very large areas like entire continents, that will be different. That is, you will find that the slope of the line to be much steeper, Z value in the range between 0.6 to 1.2. So when you compare two different continents, the Z value increases. More area, bigger area. That is frugivores, fruit-eating birds and mammals in a tropical forest of different continents. See, different continents they're comparing. The slope is found to be around 1.15. So the Z value increases when you compare organisms intercontinental. Question on the board, tell me the answer quickly. I'll give you 20 seconds to answer this question. I'll give you exactly 20 seconds to answer this question. 20 seconds. Time starts now. Tick, tick. Go quickly. Tell me the answer. Done? Students, quickly smash the like button, all of you. Shivam, I've told you already. I've always told you, right? Distraction, depression, all of this mainly happens because you lack something. I've always told you. Right? I've always told you. I've always told students, for example, this is your preparation right now. This is your preparation right now. This is your dream of becoming a doctor. This gap, do you see this gap in the middle? Your preparation right now, your dream of becoming a doctor. The gap, do you see in the middle? That gap right there is depression, distraction, what basically the reasons for you to not clear. This is the middle gap, distraction, depression and everything. If you want to remove the distractions and if you remove the depression, everything, automatically the more you become closer. For example, if you do hard work, if you are consistent, this you will go closer or this will come down. So what you have to do is keep this constant, keep the dream constant. You have to make yourself so much that you remove the distractions, remove the depression by doing the hard work and reach here. Or other option, I'll tell you a very simple option. Remove the dream only. Do you want to do that? No. So yeah, I want everyone to become a doctor. Yes, all of you want to become a doctor right here. So keep this as constant. Try becoming closer. If you're not willing to do hard work, if you're not willing to study, then you have to reduce this only. Can't become a doctor, become something else. Or become a doctor by doing the hard work. So it's up to you to decide how you want to modulate this. Do you want to increase yourself or decrease your dream? Okay, or decrease your dream. Okay, exactly. Watch the movie 12th Pass. So you can't remove the dream. Yes, dream is constant. So increase the hard work. No, increase the hard work. That's all. You do not have any other option, right? Where is Z? Z is going to be slope of the line. Answer in the chat quickly, all of you. I want quick answers now. Quick answers now. According to Alexander Humboldt, species richness decrease? No. Species richness increase with increasing area, but only up to a certain limit. Very easy. Yes, very easy. Sandra, ultralights don't remove the dream. They stop dreaming itself. That is the worst thing which could happen to you. Okay. So remove your distractions. Suddenly motivation became class motivation. Okay. So that was your species diversity, how it changes. The next question to all of you is the importance of species diversity to ecosystem. But why do we need species diversity, students? Is there a reason we need this 20,000 ants? If I remove one of them, will it be okay? Do I need 200 types, let's say 40,000 different types of beetles? Do I need so many types? Do I need them? Students? Why do I need them? Why can't I just survive with, let's say 100 ants, 100 type of ants? Is there any requirement? Yes, there is a requirement. Okay, yes, there is a requirement. See, does the number of species in a community really matter to the functioning of an ecosystem? This is a question for which ecologists have not been able to give a definite answer. For many decades, ecologists believed that communities with more species generally tend to be more stable than those with less species. I'll give you a simple example, students. Simple example, understand. Simple example. All of your friends right now, don't tell me you do not have friends, go make some friends, okay? I'll tell you importance of friends now. I'll tell you the importance of friends. Because let's say I have a friend who is a doctor. Every single time I have a problem, I will call her, I'll call him. Bro, this is wrong with me, you tell me. I can save some money going to before. Since he's my friend, I can easily get a treatment for free. Yes, easily get the consultation for free. Or for example, I have a friend who is a lawyer. If I get into a police case, I can call my friend, bro, I'm in jail right now, please come and help me. My bro will come and pick me up. Come pick me up. My bro works in a bank, for example. One more friend works in a bank. Okay. I have so much of bank work to do, and you know how banks are very slow, right? So if I have a friend in bank, he will help me out now in the bank. Yes. So do you realize if you have diversity in the friends itself, if you have a wide diversity in friends, your life becomes easier. Yes or no? Life becomes easier. It becomes easier. Similar concept is also applied here. If an ecosystem has diversity, it is better. Okay, it is better. Okay, and the ecosystem will be stable. Like how my life is very easy with my friends, ecosystem also will be very stable. Okay, one example, one more scientist coming up. A stable community should not show too much variation. First point, what is the stable community? Okay, in productivity from year to year, it must either resist or resilient to occasional change disturbances. Okay, what exactly is stability they're telling you here? It must also be resistant to invasive by alien species invasion. Basically, you should know karate. If them punch you, send them back. Okay, so ecosystem should be like whatever alien is coming, punch them and send them back. Okay, we do not know how these attributes are linked to species richness in a community, but David Tillman, all of you know what to do. Scientist comes up, all of you know what to do, right? David Tillman, right? David Tillman long-term ecosystem experiment using outdoor plots provide some tentative answer. Tillman found that plots with more species showed less year-to-year variation. More species in a plot, less variation. Okay, in total biomass. He also showed that in his experiment, increased diversity contribute to higher productivity. For example, namaskara all of you quickly, namaskara you give. David Tillman. Okay, so he took many plots and he planted that. In one plot he added a lot of variety. In one plot he added variety of plants. In one more plot, only one type of plant. In whenever we had variety, it showed higher diversity, more stability, less changes, and high productivity. At the same time, low productivity in a plant where we have only a single type. This is your David Tillman experiment. Separate plots, plot with more variety, higher stability, more productivity. Less stability, less productivity. All of you understood? Yes or no? David Tillman experiment. Plots with more species showed less year-to-year variations in total biomass. He also showed that in his experiments, increased diversity contribute to higher productivity. Okay, this is David Tillman. Okay, although we may not understand completely how species richness contribute to well-being of an ecosystem, we know enough to realize that rich biodiversity is not only essential for ecosystem health, but imperviate for very sensitive of human race on this planet. We cannot survive without nature. Okay. At a time when we are losing species at alarming pace, one might ask, does it really matter to us if species become extinct? Would the Western Ghats ecosystem be less functional if one of its tree forks is lost forever? How is our quality of life affected if instead of 20,000, let's say we have 15,000 species of ants? Does it really affect us? Yes, it does. And I'll tell you how. It may not affect right now, but in the longer run, it will affect. Okay, so I need some volunteers. Who wants to volunteer? Quickly in the chat? I need some volunteers now. I need some 2-3 volunteers who are ready to steal something. Okay, let's take Null. Null and Sandra first. Okay. Okay. For example, Null is going on the aeroplane. I'm sending on the aeroplane. I'm sending him to the aeroplane now. Okay. Null is sitting on the aeroplane. Null is sitting on the aeroplane, and before he comes down from the aeroplane, silently from the chair, he removes one nut and keeps in his pocket. He comes out. Sandra is also going in aeroplane. Sandra also is doing the same thing. Sandra is taking one nut from here, keep it in the pocket and coming out. Next, DJ Tillu is going on. Tillu is going. He's taking one nut from here somewhere, keeping in his pocket and coming out. Just like that, one by one, if I send all of you on that aeroplane, and one by one, if you remove one nut, one bolt called as rivet, will there be a problem now, students? Tell me. Will there be a problem now? Tell me quickly. See, when you remove one nut or one bolt, might not be a problem. Might not be a problem if you remove one nut or one bolt. For example, from the chair you're removing one nut, no one will notice. But eventually, if I send 1,000 students on that aeroplane, one by one, after some, like for monthly, yearly, I'm sending. One fine day, what will happen? What will happen one fine day? Aeroplane will go, crash. Aeroplane will crash. So, similarly, students, here the rivet, also called as nut and bolt. Rivet is also a type of nut. Rivet is species. If you remember, if you remove one species at once, doesn't make a difference much at that point. But on the longer run, if you keep on removing one species, like how you removed one more rivet, like how you removed one nut also, eventually, if you keep removing species, the entire ecosystem will crash. That is called as rivet pauper hypothesis. If you remove rivet one time, no difference. Remove all of them, eventually complete destruction. Okay. Now students, I'll give you one more. Let's take, I need one more volunteer. Some ultra legend I want, some ultra legend. Let's take one ultra legend now from, let's take Newton only. Okay. Now Newton, I told Newton also. Newton, go to the aeroplane and bring me one nut. Okay. Now Newton is like, everyone is taking from door, everyone is taking from bathroom, everyone is taking from here and there. I will remove one nut from aeroplane door. Imagine, students, imagine. I am asking all of you to bring one nut, but Newton is going. That extra brain is there now, Newton, extra brain. He is going and removing one nut from the aeroplane door only. Now what will happen? If you remove one nut from the aeroplane door, the door is open. Suddenly, entire aeroplane is going to collapse. Entire aeroplane is going to collapse. So in one aeroplane, some nuts or bolts are more important compared to other. Certain nut or bolt, also called as rivet, which is more important. Such of them they are called as keystone species. Just like if you remove a nut from aeroplane door, aeroplane will collapse. If you remove the keystone species, entire ecosystem is gonna collapse entirely. So these are very, very important. Keystone species are very important for survival. If you remove the keystone species, entire ecosystem is gone for the toss. Okay, entire ecosystem is gone for a toss that time. Okay. Understood, all of you? Understood? That is rivet pauper hypothesis. Now I'll read one more time, students. I will read one more time. Just listen to me. Any doubt you can ask me. Okay. One namaskara coming up. One namaskara is coming up. Okay. The rivet pauper hypothesis used by the Stanford ecologist Paul Ehrlich. Right. Namaskara, all of you. Namaskara quickly. Okay. In an aeroplane ecosystem. See, aeroplane is an ecosystem. Aeroplane is the entire ecosystem. All parts are joined together using thousands of rivets. Nut bolt. That is your species. If every passenger traveling in starts popping a rivet to take home, causing a species to become extinct, it may not affect the flight safety, proper functioning of ecosystem initially. Not affect initially. But as the more and more rivets are removed, the plane becomes dangerously weak over a period of time. And furthermore, which rivet is removed also play important. Remove from the door, gone. So loss of rivets on the wings, the key species that drive the major ecosystems function. The keystone species, if you remove keystone species, completely gone. For example, elephant, banyan tree, tiger, all of these are called as keystone species. Right? Is obviously a more serious threat to the flight safety than the loss of a few rivets on the seat or window inside the plane. So that is your rivet popper hypothesis. Answer, question on the board, answer in the chat. Question on the board, answer in the chat, quickly. Question on the board, answer in the chat. All of you quickly smash the like button. All of you quickly smash the like button right now and tell me the answer. Those of you watching recorded also, quickly smash that like button. If you have watched the video till now, quickly smash that like button. In rivet popper hypothesis, the Paul Enrich compared the rivet in an aeroplane to. Rivet was species, yes, species. The species of plants that play a vital role in controlling relative abundance of other species in a community is called as. The species which are more important, that is basically called as your keystone species. Keystone species. Okay. Now students, we come to the midpoint of this chapter, that is loss of biodiversity. Now here I will teach you something called as evil quadrant, and let me tell you students, I swear to God, every single year one question will come from here. It'll come from here. Okay, so let's start now. Let's start with something called as your loss of biodiversity. Can we start, students? Can we start? Loss of biodiversity. See, we have learned there is biodiversity. We have learned types of biodiversity, how is it changing. But now we learn about the loss of biodiversity. What are we losing right now? Okay, so whatever we have been losing from time to time, that is what we will learn right now. Okay, can we start? Yes, students. Now, while it is doubtful, students, I want everyone to listen to us a podcast now. I will read the entire thing, listen to it as a podcast and enjoy. Okay. While it is doubtful if any new species are being added through speciation into Earth's treasury of species, there is no doubt about the continuing losses. So we are not aware if something is added, but we are very sure something is lost. The biological wealth of our planet has been declining rapidly, and accusing fingers is clearly pointing to the human activities. If someone asks you, who is the person who is destroying Earth? Me and you. Me and you. The colonization of tropical Pacific islands by humans. Humans went to tropical Pacific islands. Okay. Said to have led to extinction of more than 2,000 species native birds. We are just going and staying there. Boom. Animals are dead. Plants are dead. Birds are dead. Okay. The IUCN Red List, very important. Okay. Documents extinction of 784 species, including 338 vertebrates. Number they will not ask you, students. 359 invertebrates, 87 plants in the last 500 years. So in last 500 years, more than 784 species are extinct right now. Extinct. Some examples of recent extinctions includes dodo. Recent extinction is the dodo bird has been extinct right now. That is, I'll show you here. Can you see? There's a dodo right here. Extinction happened. Extinction takes place. Then one is your quagga. This one. Quagga. This is the type of your giraffe. Stellar sea cow right here. It is hunted for its meat and blubber. 3 subspecies of your tiger: Bali, Javan, and Caspian. All of these are extinct. They're not present anymore, students. Do you realize? All of them are extinct. They're not present anymore. Not present anymore. Okay. Thylacine. Okay. Stellar sea cow, Russian. 3 subspecies of tiger. Last 20 years alone, has witnessed the disappearance of 27 species. 20 years, 27 species gone from the earth because of us. Okay. Some groups like your amphibians appear to be more vulnerable to extinction. I'll tell you, in the class you have always, if I scold someone, some of you will be like, okay, sir is scolding. You'll be very sensitive. There are some people in the class, how much ever you scold them, nothing goes to their brain. How much ever you blackmail, how much ever you tell them, nothing goes to them. Okay. That is insensitive or very thick skinned. Okay. Now, amphibians are very sensitive. Little bit change, they'll die. Okay. Adding to the grim scenario of extinction is the fact that more than 15,500 species of worldwide are facing threat of extinction. That is, these are called as your endangered species. Endangered species. Precisely 12% of the all birds, 23% of all mammals, 22% of all the amphibian species, and 31% of all gymnosperms are in the world are brink of extinction. So all of them are endangered. Highest is going to be your amphibians, very sensitive. Remember, amphibians are very sensitive. Second is going to be mammals. Third is going to be gymnosperms. Then we have mammals. Then we have your birds. Okay. From a study of history of life on Earth through fossil records, we learn that large-scale loss of species like the one we are currently witnessing also happened earlier, even before the human appeared on the scene. That is, all of you know the story, no? Dinosaur is walking on the road. Meteorite is coming. Dinosaur is destroyed. Mass extinction. Your ice age. Mass extinction. So there has been 5 mass extinctions on Earth till now, and this right here is the 6th one. What is the difference then? The difference is very simple. The last extinctions, right, they took a lot of time to happen. Millions of years it took to happen. But the current extinction which is going on right now, the current extinction, it is happening around 10 to 100 times more faster, the current one. Okay. During the long period, more than 3 billion years ago, since the origin of and diversification of life on Earth, there has been 5 episodes of mass extinction of species. How is the 6th extinction presently in progress different from others? The difference is the rates. The current species extinction rates are 100 to 1000 times faster. Okay, faster than the pre-human times, and our activities are responsible for the faster rates. Ecologists warn that the present trend continues. Nearly half of all the species on Earth will be completely destroyed in the next 1 century. The next 2 centuries, 1 century, destroyed. Okay, mass extinction. One small question for all of you here. Rainforest, which used to cover more than 14%. Oh, it's here, students. This question has to come here. Answer is here, students. Okay, the question is somewhere there. I'll tell the question later on. The extra question has come. That's what I was thinking. Answer on the board. Question on the board. Highest annual net prime productivity observed in tropical rainforest. Tropical rainforest, correct. Okay, tropical rainforest. Now, students, I want for the next 15 minutes, I want ultimate concentration. Ready? Because I'll be teaching you the most important concept in this entire chapter. In this entire chapter, if you learn this small things which I'm going to teach you in the next 15 minutes, you are set. Can we start now? Next 15 minutes, very, very important for all of you. If you learn this much, this entire chapter is going to be very easy. And 80% of chapter is going to be over if you learn this much. 80% chapter is over. Okay. So with that full ultimate focus, we will start right now. Okay. That is, what is causing the biodiversity loss? Maximum effort now. In general, loss of biodiversity in region may lead to decline in plant productivity. Obviously, it will happen. Okay. Lower resistance to environmental disturbances. Increase variability in certain ecosystem process. It can happen. The cause of biodiversity loss, very important, very important. The accelerated rate of species extinction that the world is facing right now are largely due to human activities. That is the four evil quadrant. It is the evil quadrant. The first one is called as your habitat loss and fragmentation. Then we have alien species invasion, overexploitation, and co-extinction. These 4 points are very, very important. So let's focus right now and start. The first one. The first one is called as habitat loss and fragmentation. The worst thing which could happen to a plant or animal or insect or a bird is that you take away the house itself. Imagine you take away the house, where will they stay? They'll become homeless. For example, look at this particular entire region of your South America. If you remove all the forests like this, and if you make all the forests something like this, where will the entire plants or animals staying in this area, where will they go? Nowhere. They do not even have a single place to survive now because of the that is habitat loss. And why are we doing this? We are doing the habitat loss because soybean cultivation we want. We need a cattle cultivation for beef. Yes, we need that. So because, and we are even completely spoiling the aquatic ecosystem also. We are spoiling this also. So humans, because of the human greed, we are completely destroying the habitat of others. Yes, we are. This is the most important, very important line. It is the most important cause of driving animals and plants to extinction. The most dramatic example of habitat loss comes from the tropical rainforest, once covering more than 14% of Earth's land, students. The tropical rainforest was once 14% of entire Earth was tropical rainforest. From 14% we have brought it to 6%. 14% of forest became just 6% right now. They are being destroyed fast. By the time you finish reading this chapter, 1,000 more hectares of rainforest would be lost right now before you finish the chapter itself. The Amazon rainforest, it is so huge that it used to be called as lungs of the planet. Harboring millions of species is being cut and cleared for cultivation of soybean or for conversion of grasslands for raising cattle, beef cattle. Yes. Besides total loss, the degradation of many habitats by pollution also threatens the survival of many species. When a large habitat are broken up into smaller fragments due to various human activities, mammals, birds requiring large areas, tiger, elephant, every single animal also disappears. Okay, and certain animals with migratory habitats are badly affected, leading to population decline or even extinction. So this is the most cause of loss of biodiversity, fragmentation, and loss of habitat loss. Okay, this is the most disturbing one. Can you see, students? Imagine, look at the overview. Entire forest has been cleared. Habitat loss and fragmentation. Second thing is called as overexploitation. Now I'll give you a simple example. All of you love watching TV. Yes, sir, you love watching TV or laptop or anything. Basically, you love consuming media. When your parents are in the house, there's a limit to it. For example, it used to happen to me also. When I am at home with my parents, maximum I used to watch is 2 hours of TV every day. 2 hours every day. Okay. But if my parents are going to the native, they're gone out for a wedding, this 2 hours used to become 7 to 8 hours. Full day CID I used to watch. Full day I used to watch CID. Full day. What did I do? I overexploited my freedom to watch the TV. Now imagine if I watch 7 to 8 hours of TV every single day for 1 month. My entire functioning will go, my whole body will become weak. My eyesight will go down. So that is called as overexploitation. It has happened to me also. Okay, overexploitation. Humans have always depended on nature for the food and shelter. But when the need becomes greed, my need became greed here. It leads to the overexploitation of natural resources. Many species extinction in the last 500 years? Stellar sea cow, overexploitation for hunting. Passenger pigeon, completely destroyed by extending more and more. Where due to the overexploitation by humans. Precisely, many marine fishes population around the world are over-harvested, endangering the continued existence of some commercially important species. Gone because of overexploitation. Okay. Next thing is called as alien species invasion. Alien species invasion. Now, we humans are little cuckoo in the head. We humans are little cuckoo in the head. Okay. I'm seeing one nice garden is there. Nice garden, nice water body. How can I spoil it now? There's a nice garden, nice water body, everything is nice. Something is missing. So we bring something from somewhere and we add it there. It happens. Okay. We bring something very exotic from other country. We go to other countries and we see, oh, this is nice. This plant is nice. Bring it to India. Okay. So that is called as alien species invasion. We bring something from other countries intentionally or unintentionally, and it spoils our own country or native species. Understand? When alien species are introduced unintentionally or deliberately, for whatever purpose, some of them turn invasive and cause a decline or extinction of indigenous species. The meaning of indigenous is native species present in India. For example, from America we get into India something. Indian species is called as indigenous. First example, okay. The Nile perch introduced into Lake Victoria in East Africa led to eventually to the extinction of an ecologically unique assemblage of more than 200 species of cichlid fish in the lake. So first example is cichlid fish became completely extinct. Can you see? Very less. Nile perch became more now. Cichlid became very less. First example. You must have familiar with the environmental damage caused by the threat posted to our native species by invasive weed species like your carrot grass, Parthenium. Third example. Fourth example is Lantana camera. Fifth example is water hyacinth. Here. Lantana camera, you might have seen this in the roadside. This flower, invasive. Parthenium, carrot grass, invasive, Congress plant. Water hyacinth, terror of Bengal, invasive. So all of them came to India. And spoiled it. Okay. The recent illegal introduction of the African catfish, that is Clarius, for the aquaculture purposes is posing a threat to the indigenous catfish in our rivers. So this fish came to India and gone. Indigenous catfishes gone. Okay. That is what is happening. African catfish, Clarius. Last thing is called as co-extinction. Last topic, co-extinction. Okay, under your evil quadrate. For example, all of you remember mutualism. In mutualism, there is an intimate relationship between the ant and a wasp and a fig fruit. They pollinate, they have a connection there. Fig is providing a space for laying the eggs. The fig is providing the nutrition by the seeds, and the wasp is helping pollination. Okay, mutualism. Now, what if for any reason the wasp disappears? Who will pollinate the fig now? No one. The fig also will disappear. One more example I'll give you. Example, if all the mosquito disappears, where will the plasmodium go now? Plasmodium doesn't have a host now. So plasmodium doesn't have a vector now. Gone. Imagine there is a host parasite. If the host is disappearing, parasite also is disappearing because they depend on each other. Parasite is dependent on the host. If the host disappears, parasite also will disappear. Okay, disappear. When a species becomes extinct, the plant and the animal species associated with it and obligatory way also becomes extinct. When a host fish species becomes extinct, its unique assemblage of parasite also meets the same fate. Another example is the case where co-evolved plant pollinators mutualism, where extinction of one invariably leads to the extinction of other. One is disappearing, other also disappears. And with that, question on the board. Let's see who can solve. Question on the board, students. I'll give you exactly 20 seconds. These are regarded as major cause of biodiversity loss. See, overexploitation is there, co-extinction is there, loss of habitat loss is there. So A, B and D, yes or no? A, B, D. Tell me the answer. Yes, A, B, D is the answer. See this question, all of you. Among the evil quadrate, which of the following consider the most important cause driving the extinction of the species? Most important, students, tell me. Remove the house. Habitat loss and fragmentation. Habitat loss and fragmentation. Yes or no? Yes. Next question. Which of the following is or are causes of biodiversity loss? Overexploitation, habitat loss and fragmentation, correct. Climate change only, no. Overexploitation only, no. Habitat loss and fragmentation only, no. So option number 1. Option number 1. Yes. Next question. Habitat loss and fragmentation, overexploitation, alien species invasion and co-extinction are the causes of biodiversity loss. Option number 4. Next question. Which of the following comes under evil quadrate? I'll give you 10 seconds to answer this question. Very easy question again. Evil quadrate. Which of them following comes under evil quadrate? Habitat loss, fragmentation, yes. Or exploitation, yes. A, B, C. A, B, C. A, B, C. The decline in population of Indian native fish due to introduction of clarius, right, Gyripus, in river Yamuna can be categorized as, see, something is coming to our India. Oh, it is going to be alien species invasion. Yes or no? It is going to be alien species invasion. Yes, alien species invasion. Now, all of us know right now, there has been loss of biodiversity. All of you are aware right now, there is a huge loss in biodiversity and we need to save biodiversity. All of you are aware. But can I ask you a question? Why should we save? Right? Why should we save? There should be a reason, no. There should be a reason why we are saving biodiversity. Simply should we say no? Nothing should be done simply. There has to be a reason. Right? There has to be a reason. So I'll give you 3 main reasons right now. I'll give you 3 main reasons to save the biodiversity. Okay, why? The first one is narrow, second is called as broad utilitarian, third is called as ethical. In narrow, it is much more greedy nature. For example, we get all of these from the forest. We get tannins, perfume, dyes, color, resin from forest. So obviously, if you're getting all of this from the forest, should we save forest? Yes, we should. Obviously, see here, narrow utilitarian argues for the conservation of biodiversity are obvious. Humans derive countless direct benefits from the nature. That is, could be food, pulses, fruits, firewood, fiber, construction material, industrial products, right? Lubricants, dye, resin, perfumes, and products of medicinal importance. More than 25% of drugs currently sold in the market worldwide are derived from the plants. So, if we are so dependent on the plants, should we save the plants? Yes or no? Yes, we should. Obviously, we should save the plants then. We should save the plants. Okay. And animals. Species of plants contribute to the traditional medicine used by native people around the world. You might have seen, right? For example, if you're running in the house and you fall down, you're running and you fall down, you fell down, right? And you get a wound on your leg, you start bleeding. What do you do now? Apply something on the wound. What do you apply? In my house, we apply turmeric. Plant. Some of you might apply Dettol and everything, Dettol, Savlon, anything. But in my house, still we use haldi. Very good antibacterial, antifungal, and also stops the bleeding, clotting also very fast. Best it is. No preservative, nothing. Okay, apply haldi. Okay. Nobody knows how many more medicinal useful plants are yet to are in the tropical rainforest waiting to be explored. With increasing resources put into bioprospecting. What is this bioprospecting, students? Exploring molecular, genetic, And species level diversity, we're exploring diversity. Why? For the products of economic importance. We know that one particular type of plant is giving me economic importance. So we find more. That is called bioprospecting. Bioprospecting. Okay. Nations endowed with the rich biodiversity can expect to reap enormous benefits. India can. Next is called as your broad utilitarian. Okay. Broad utilitarian is basically telling you how much of benefit you are getting from nature for free of cost. For example, all of you remember COVID time, right? COVID time. In COVID time, do you remember the price of a single oxygen cylinder? It was in lakhs. It was in lakhs, 1,000, 50,000, 20,000, 30,000. Somewhere it even went in lakhs. That was the price of oxygen which you had to pay. But a tree is doing for the free. A same tree is giving it for the free now. A tree is giving it for the free. That is the beauty of our ecosystem, beauty of our plants. So that is the broad utilitarian. We are deriving a lot of benefits from the plants, right? That biodiversity plays a major role in many ecosystem services that nature provides. The fast dwelling Amazon forest is estimated to produce, although photosynthesis, 20% of total oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere from the forest. Can we put an economic value on the services by nature? Not possible. Very expensive it will come. You can get some idea. See, pollination also. Imagine if I send all of you, if I send 1,000 students right now and go help in pollination, still you will not be able to pollinate every single flower in India. Not possible. Many years it will take. Many years it will take. And that is happening for free of cost in nature, right? Because of insects, because of honeybees. Remove all the honeybee, entire ecosystem will collapse. Very important pollinators are. Okay. So there are other intangible benefits that we derive from the nature. The aesthetic pleasure of walking through a forest. Imagine, la la la, you're walking the forest. When you're walking the forest, you'll get nice fresh air, good oxygen. You feel nice in the forest. You'll feel nice in the forest. Okay. So all that is broad utilitarian. The last one is economical. Last one is, see, imagine walking in this forest, friends, walking in this garden. Amazing feeling it will be. Last is called as your ethical issue. What is the ethical argument here? Ethical argument says that Earth is not ours only. Even the spider, even the ant, even the rat, even the lion, even the fish, even the plants, everyone also has equal right on Earth. Not only us. Not only us. Okay. And see here, what we owe to the millions of plants, animals, and micro species with whom we share this planet. Philosophically or spiritually, we need to realize that every species has an intrinsic value. Even if it may not be current or any economical value to us, we have a moral duty to care for the well-being and pass on our biological legacy in good order for the future generation. So sustainable living. That is the sustainable living. Okay. So students, we learned from starting, I'll tell you. We learned about biodiversity. Amazing it is. Oh, biodiversity is amazing. Different type of animals, plants, birds, insects. We learned about in India how it is. Amazing. We learned about the diversity, latitude, gradation, species area richness. Then we learned about losses. Yes, there is a loss happening. Loss is happening at a faster rate. How much we are losing. Then we learned about why should we save environment. Should we really save? Does it matter if you lose everything? We learned that. No, we learned that yes, it matters a lot if you lose all the environment. Okay. So from the lesson which we learned from here is that we should save our environment and we should make sure it is for good. Now I will teach you how can we save environment. The last topic for this chapter is how you can and I can save the environment. And let me tell you, this chapter doesn't only give you marks. This chapter doesn't only give you marks, but it also teaches you a very good value. Okay. And students, this is the last topic. Okay, for this chapter. We'll finish it off. Don't worry. One shot. we can finish it off. No breaks, nothing. We can do it. Let's do it. Okay. Now, students, let me tell you. You can. This entire chapter is almost one like. Okay. You might get confused here and there when you're reading one more small points. I would advise you to go through this video one more time after this lecture if you have any confusion anywhere. And if you have any confusion anywhere, you can always let me know in the comment section. I will clear it for you. Okay. So with that, we come to the end of the chapter now. We come to the end of the chapter. That is your last topic. Last topic, that is, how do we conserve biodiversity? How do we conserve biodiversity? How do we conserve it? There are two methods on two methods. In situ, ex situ. Very cute it is, very cute. Okay. When we conserve and protect the whole ecosystem, its biodiversity at all levels is protected. We save the entire forest to save the tiger. Obviously, we can save the entire forest. Obviously, the tiger is saved. We can save the entire forest. Birds are saved in that forest. They are saved. Right? This approach is called as in situ. So, in situ conservation, we are saving the entire ecosystem, not something very specific. In situ conservation, we are saving the entire ecosystem. And when we save the entire ecosystem, all the animals, all the plants, all the insects, fishes, insects, birds, everything is saved. Everything is saved. Okay. However, when there are situations where an animal or a plant is endangered or threatened, organisms facing a very high risk of extinction, if you leave it in the wild, okay, in near future, and needs urgent measure to save it from extinction, ex situ offsite conservation is desirable approach. So in situ means within an area, ex situ means you're removing from there, taking somewhere else, saving it there. Okay. In situ within a forest, ex situ in a cage-like area. Okay. Now see here, in situ conservation. Faced with the conflict between development and conservation, many nations find it unrealistic and economically not feasible to conserve all the biodiversity wealth. Obviously, it is very difficult. It is very difficult to save the entire ecosystem. Very expensive it is. Right? Invariably, the number of species waiting to be saved from extinction far exceeds the conservation resources available. On a global basis, this problem has been addressed by eminent conservationists. Right? Conservationists. They identified a maximum protection certain biodiversity hotspot. Okay, so there are something called as biodiversity hotspots. Within these hotspots, the species diversity is very high. So instead of saving everything, what if we just save the high diversity area? Yes or no? Makes sense to all of you. See, for example, there is a large forest here. Large forest. In this area, let's say I have around 1,000 animals and plants. In this one small area, I have 10. Okay, let's take same area. Same area here, 10 animals here. Tell me, which one will you save right now? Will you save A or will you save B? We will save A. Same area, same resources. Here I am saving more animals. Saving more animals. That such areas are called as biodiversity hotspots. Okay. Regions with very high levels of species richness. Okay. And high degree of endemism. Now, what is this endemism? Endemism, very small concept, understand. That is species confined to that region and not found anywhere else. For example, polar bears. Do you find polar bear on the roadside? Do you find penguin in your next local area? Not possible. They are confined to polar regions, North Pole and South Pole. That is called as endemic. Okay, very fine area. Initially, 25 biodiversity hotspots were in India. Okay, were identified, and subsequently 9 more have been added to this list. So bring the total number of biodiversity hotspots in the world. So in the world, not India. In the world, 34 are there. So there are totally 34. There are 34 biodiversity hotspots in the entire world now. 34 are there. Okay. These hotspots were also regions of accelerated habitat loss. 3 of these hotspots Western Ghats and Sri Lanka, Indo-Burma and Himalaya cover our country's exceptional high biodiversity regions. So all of them are near India. Okay, Sri Lanka part, Western Ghats and Indo-Burma and Himalayan ranges, right? Although all biodiversity hotspots put together cover less than 2% of Earth's land, the number of species they collectively harbor is extremely high, and strict protection of these hotspots could reduce the ongoing mass extinction by alone 30%. So even if they cover just 2% of land, they have very high number of organisms in that. Okay, high number of organisms in that. So students, this is a particular chart I've made for you. If you learn this, your entire life will be easy. In situ, what do we have examples? Biodiversity hotspots, protected area, sacred groves, biosphere reserves, national parks and sanctuaries. In situ. Ex situ, we have zoological park, botanical garden, seed bank or gene bank or micropropagation or anything. In situ and ex situ. Learn this, you will get pakka marks in this. Pakka marks. For sure. For sure. See here. In India, ecologically unique and biodiversity rich regions are legally protected as biosphere reserves. National parks and sanctuaries, told you already. National parks and sanctuaries are there. India now has 14 biosphere reserves. India has how many students? India has 14 biosphere reserves in India. 14. Okay. 19 national parks. 448 wildlife sanctuaries. India also has a history of regional and cultural traditions. All of you know that, and emphasizes protection of nature. In many cultures, tracts of forest were set aside. You know, right? If you go to some villages, they tell that do not go near this forest. Why? God is there. They are told, right? Do not go near this forest. God is there. Meaning is what? Meaning is very simple, that that particular area is protected from outsiders, telling that do not go there. If you go there, God will become angry. Okay. In many cultures, okay, and wildlife within were venerated and given total protection. Such sacred groves are found, very important, 𝐂𝐤𝐿 and 𝐿𝐴 hills in Meghalaya, Aravalli Hills in Rajasthan, Western Ghats regions of your Karnataka and Maharashtra, and 𝐶𝐤𝐿, Kandra and Bastar areas of Madhya Pradesh. In Meghalaya, sacred groves are the last refuge for large number of rare and threatened plants. Many rare and threatened plants are found in this sacred groves. So very important culture which we have. Make sure that this continues, and there are many areas where we should not go actually. If you go there, we'll spoil it. We'll over-exploit everything. It's good that we are not allowed somewhere. Okay, it's good. We are not allowed everywhere. Here is a small map of all biosphere reserves in India, all 14 of them. Right? All the 14 of them right here. Small map for your wildlife sanctuaries in India. Small map for sacred groves in India. Sacred groves. Okay. Now, small question here. See the small question. In situ conservation refers to conservation of only extent, protection and conservation of whole ecosystem. Yes. Yes. This is the answer. See, very simple question, very simple answer. See this. What is endemism? Endemism means some species present only in certain area. Species confined to that region. Yes. Confined to very small region. Confined to very small region. Next question. Western Ghats have a large number of plants and animals, species that are not found anywhere else. Such of the following term is used to notify such species as what, friends? Here, endemic species. They're not found anywhere. They're called as endemic species. They're found only in your certain area. Endemic species. Okay, endemic species. So that was the in situ conservation. That was in situ conservation. Now we come to the last one, that is ex situ. In ex situ, we take from one place, take it to somewhere, transportation, keep it there and use. Okay. In this approach, threatened animals and plants are taken out of their natural habitat and placed in a special setting where they can be protected and given special care. Zoological park is an example. Zoological parks botanical gardens, wildlife safari. Sanctuary is different, park is different. Okay. For some purpose, there are many animals that have become extinct in the wild. Many of the rhinoceros, white rhinoceros, they become extinct in the wild. Okay, but continue to be maintained in zoological park. In recent years, ex situ conservation has advanced beyond keeping threatened species in the enclosure. Now, gametes of threatened species, students, they are conserving the gametes now, not just the species. Even the gametes are kept now, and whenever we can fuse the gametes, make the organism, test tube baby, we can make. Okay, can be preserved in viable and fertile conditions for long period of using cryopreservation techniques. Eggs can be fertilized in vitro, and plants can be propagated using tissue culture methods, that is micropropagation techniques. Seeds from different genetic strains of commercially important plants can be kept for various long period of in secret seed bank. They're kept somewhere. There a seed bank is there. It has a lot of seeds. I'll show you an image. See, this is a botanical garden queue. Cryopreservation, see, seed bank is there like this. All those seeds are kept there. So again, ex situ, zoological park, national park, difference you see. Botanical garden, seed bank and gene bank. Small question here. Which of the following is not a method of ex situ? Not a method of ex situ. Ex situ conservation. Tell me, students, answer quickly. See this. National park is in situ. So not as ex situ, national park. Okay. Now identify the places from the following where sacred groves are not found. So around wells we find here. Here also we find. We don't find here. We find here. So only C answer. Only C. So such questions will be asked in examination when they'll ask you names also. It is geography. Less science, more geography this is. Okay. Now biodiversity knows no political boundaries, and its conservation is therefore collectively responsible for all nations. Every single country is responsible for the conservation. We cannot be like, this is not our problem. We cannot tell that. It is everyone's problem. Everyone's problem this is. And we have to collectively take care. The historic convention on biological diversity, the Earth Summit held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. Okay, called upon all the nations to take appropriate measures for conservation. See, Rio de Janeiro 1992. What did it tell you? It told that biodiversity and sustainable utilization of benefits. So biodiversity and sustainable use of resource. Okay. In a follow-up, the World Summit in Sustainable Development held in 2002, Johannesburg, South Africa, other one, 190 countries pledged their commitment and achieved by 2010 a significant reduction in, this is the aim here, a significant reduction in the current rate of biodiversity loss. So reducing the biodiversity loss, Johannesburg. Rio de Janeiro, biodiversity and sustainable use of resource. Aim is very important, date is very important, 2010, 1992. Apart from that, the most important thing is location. One is Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, one is Johannesburg, South Africa. See, this is the 1921. Rio de Janeiro. Okay. This is the Johannesburg one. Johannesburg. That is World Summit on Sustainable Development. Many countries, can you see, many countries took place. 190 countries took place here. 190 countries. More than 190 countries were here. One small question here, students. Based on all the scientists which we saw here, scientists. See, Robert May told us what, students, tell me? Robert May told us the global species diversity. Yes. A is 3. Alexander Humboldt, species relationship. B is 1. Paul Ehrlich, Rivet Popper hypothesis. C is 4. C is 4. David Tillman, outer plants. So A is 3, B, C is 4, option number 1. The historic convention of biodiversity on biodiversity, the Earth Summit of Rio de Janeiro, was held in, students. Just now we learned here. Rio de Janeiro, tell me the answer. 1992. Same question. Or I can ask you a question like this. The World Summit on Sustainable Development 2002 Johannesburg, South Africa pledged for. I told you it is for conservation, right? Reduction in the biodiversity loss. Reduction in biodiversity loss. The Earth Summit held in Rio de Janeiro in 1982 was called for what is the main reason? Conservation of biodiversity and sustainable utilization of benefits. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Sacred groves we just now learned is Khasi Hills in Meghalaya. 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐜 conservation. Nile preaches alien species invasion. Amazon forest is going to be raise of oxygen. So A is going to be 4, A is going to be 4, B is going to be 3, C is going to be 1, and D is going to be 2. Option number 1. Option number 1. Option number 1. Okay. This right here is the homework question. And by today evening, 50 questions as DPP I'll give you. 50 questions I'll give you DPP in Telegram I'll send you today. Okay, in Telegram I'll send you, and also in the description of this video. Description of this video you'll get 50 DPP questions today only. You'll get today. Okay, 50 questions DPP from this chapter I'll give you, even for your previous chapter, that is yesterday we did, right? Express, Plant Kingdom, that also I'll give you. Okay, so with that, homework question I want in the comments, students. Homework question answer I want in the comments. And with that, entire one short lecture on your chapter Biodiversity and Conservation is done and dusted. So it was really, yes, it was really fun today. I hope all of you learned something, not just for the sake of marks, and also for the sake of learning the important things about our nature. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Keep studying, all of you. Keep studying. Revise NCERT. Any doubt you can always ask me. Join the Telegram channel. All of you know the Telegram channel. Biology. And Express is on, students. I am telling you again and again, reminding you again and again. The Express is on. The train is starting. The train is moving. If you're not a part of Express, join right now very soon, because I've already finished one chapter there. Okay. So until then, take care, students. Bye-bye. And I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye-bye, all of you. Bye-bye.